All right, guys, ready for the third and final step? This will finish off the project. Here we go. So, just to recap, we have made drawings of our costumes and colored them in. And then for step 2, we just made our big life-size pieces of our costume on paper, coloring them in with markers. And now, for the third and final step, we'll need to cut these out, use a little bit of glue, and we should have a costume. Now, for this next step, you will need scissors. You will need a glue stick. If you don't have a glue stick, tape is okay. And another thing that works really well on this project is a stapler. Now, if you don't have if you don't have a stapler or tape, glue stick is fine. If you don't have a glue stick, tape is fine. Now, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start by cutting out these pieces of our costume. It's always okay to ask a grown-up for help. You wanna be very careful when you use scissors. And just slowly and carefully, you wanna cut out the pieces of your costume. So this is my bracelet. I'm gonna get it nice and cut out, and then I'm gonna sit it over to the side. Just gonna put it somewhere so it stays safe after I cut it out. Now, as you guys watch me cut my shapes out, let's talk about costumes for a minute. I'm sure you guys came up with lots of good ideas for costumes. There are so many things that we can be, and we can, use costumes to try to make ourselves look like that. So maybe you wanted to, be a doctor, and you could make a doctor costume. What kind of things would a doctor need? A doctor has a white coat. A doctor has a stethoscope. A doctor has lots of instruments to look at people's bodies and check their health, right? Let's say you wanted to make a costume and you wanted to be a soccer player. What kind of things for a soccer player costume would you need? Well, soccer players usually wear jerseys, and they usually have a number on them. They usually have shin pads. They also wear cleats, which are special shoes. So when you're making different costumes, there's going to be different things, depending on what costume you're making, that you're going to need for your costume. My costume was more like a superhero's, so that's why I have a mask and a special bracelet with a magical jewel on it. Let's say you just wanted to be a princess, right? You could make a crown. You could make a magic wand. You could make beautiful clothing to wear. There's all sorts of stuff you can make. Let's say you wanted to be a fox and you wanted to make a fox costume, like an animal. You could make yourself some ears. You could make yourself a tail. You could make yourself some fur. You could make yourself some claws. There's lots of stuff. Now, I'm just gonna trim off a couple extra pieces. And if you're making something like a mask, this will be the one tricky part that you might need a grown-up to help you with. Let me just get rid of this extra little thing that's driving me nuts. There we go. Okay. So this, to get rid of these eyes, you'll need to sort of poke your scissors in there to create a hole. It's okay to ask a grown-up for some help on this part. But then, once you have a place to start, you can take your scissors and just kind of slowly and carefully cut out those white parts. And that's going to leave a really cool, like 2 holes that I'll be able to put my eyes through. And people won't have any idea that it's me underneath this mask. They'll probably see me wearing this mask and they'll probably say, "Who is that? I don't recognize that person. I can't see their face. I wonder who that is underneath that mask." There's lots of different superheroes. And one, again, the reason I chose heroes is a lot of superheroes help people. And that's what I like to do. When I'm a teacher, I like to help my students. And, when I go out and do things, if I see someone that needs help, I like to stop and I like to help them. So now we have those 2 eye holes cut out of the mask. We have our bracelet cut out. Now we just need to do those 2 triangle pieces of our hat. So again, very carefully, I don't want to cut myself with scissors, but slowly and carefully I will cut these out. Just getting rid of all the white. All right, so there's 1 blue triangle. And I'll start cutting out my second one. Nice and careful. I want to go nice and slow with these scissors because I don't want to make any mistakes on this part. I also want to be careful not to hurt myself. So I'm almost there. Let's see when this last piece is going to go away. There it is. All right. So now we're done with the cutting part, and we have the pieces of our costume all cut out. And the last thing we need to do is glue some of them together. So, with the bracelet, let's start with that one. This needs to be a bracelet that goes around my hand. Just like this. Okay? So there's my bracelet. So what I want to do is, I want to make sure it fits, which I just did, and it does. And I am going to put a little bit of glue on one end, only one. Always put the cap back on your glue sticks so they don't dry out. And I am going to glue one side to the other. Just like that. I like to push it down and make sure it's all stuck together. And here's the most important thing. After you get done gluing something, try your best to put it down and let it dry for at least 2 or 3 minutes. That's the best thing you can do. Try not to touch it because it needs to stay still and dry so that it dries really nice. But you can see that now I have a bracelet. There's my bracelet. There it is, with my purple jewel that controls time. Very cool. The last thing I need to do on mine is, because I made a hat, I need to stick these two blue triangles together. And I need to save some space so that my head can fit in there. So how I'm going to do that is, I am going to glue, now watch this. I am going to glue only two sides of my triangle. So I'm going to put glue all the way down this side. Just like that. You guys see that? And then I'm going to put some more glue all the way down this side. Just like that. Now I'm not going to glue this side. Right? So with only these two sides being glued, I'm going to take my hat, carefully line it up, doing my best to try to get it to match up on there, be about as straight as I can get it. And when I think it's good, I'm just gonna put it on there and make sure that these two triangles I made get glued together in just these two parts. Just these two sides. This side and this side. And really I should let that sit there and let it dry for a couple minutes just so it's nice and dry. But you can already see that the part that I didn't glue can open up. You see that? So that my hat, that is this blue triangle shape, now has an inside. And that inside spot is what you can put on your head. So that will be my hat. And my mask is pretty much done already. There, and it works. I can see you guys. I can see right through that mask. Do you guys recognize me? Can you tell it's me? How about, I have to let my hat dry, but this is what it would look like if I had my hat and I have my mask. You can't forget about my awesome bracelet. I have to wait for it to dry and then I'm going to put it on and wear it. Now you could also decorate more of your costume. So if you wanted to, you could add decorations on your costumes to really make them stand out even more. I like to help people. So maybe I could put some nice things on my mask. Maybe I'll put some hearts. Because when people see hearts, hearts usually mean good things. It usually means love, or that you care about somebody. So if I put hearts on my mask, I think that would let people know that I am here to help them. And you guys can decorate your costumes with whatever you want. I mean, on my hat, I could add some more details. I could put a pattern on my hat if I really wanted to. I could put some stripes on there. And they just repeat over and over again. So even though we're done and we've glued it and our costume is ready to go, you can always take markers and add more cool things to your costumes. They don't have to be finished. But there you go. We started with our drawings and got all our ideas ready to go. We made life-size versions, which we cut out and decorated. And now once the glue is all dry, you have a cool costume that you can wear and pretend like you are someone else. So I hope you guys have fun with this project. I hope you make amazing costumes. I hope you have a great rest of your summer. Keep making art. Art is a really nice thing that you can do all summer long, and you can be creative. You can make people really nice things. You can make things to decorate your room. You can be as creative as you want to be. And I hope you guys had fun with this project, and I hope you continue to be creative and have fun for the rest of the summer. Bye, guys.